I'm Batman.
Easy, miss. I've got you.
You've got me? Who's got you?
Mr. McGee, don't make me angry. You wouldn't like me when I'm angry.
I'm a doctor, but probably not the one you expect.
I'm Captain Kirk.
Welcome everyone to this special Geek This Week presentation, and this is my review of Pensacon 2025. Pensacon 2025 is in the books. What a great, wonderful weekend last weekend Pensacon 2025 was. In this review, I'll go over the 3 days and show you all what I did and much, much more. I did something a little unique while I was there is I recorded little short videos and posted them on Facebook starting the day and ending the day of the 3 days. I was going to put those videos in this video, but for whatever reason, the compatibility between the different softwares I used kept putting in popping in the audio or just drop of audio in the video itself, making it useless. So if you go onto my Facebook page or my Geek This Week Facebook page, you'll be able to see those videos. Otherwise, let's get to it. Day one. The first problem, I got to the base center. Normally in the past, we could just simply come into the back of the base center to show them, hey, we have a VIP pass. We just got to go and pick it up. This year, no can do. You had to have the VIP parking sign in your windshield before you could park in the back of the base center. So I had to go park somewhere else, go to the front of the base center, get my stuff before I could park in the back of the base center. And I didn't realize it at the time, but somewhere between after getting my pass and VIP stuff, I lost my VIP t-shirt. So that's going to be a different story for day 3. But anyway, moving along. 12:30, got on the vendor's floor, started doing some shopping, looking around. And as I said in the preview videos, I was wanting to do some comic book bin diving because I'm trying to sell my comic book collection and I need to fill some holes in some runs in order to make the run more enticing and appealing to be purchased. I was sort of disappointed as there was only 4 comic book dealers there on the vendor's floor. One, they just brought books of artists that were there at Pensacon for people to buy to get signed and pre-autograph books that had already been signed by some artists. That's all they had. The other 3, one just had Silver Age stuff, maybe a little copper, but it didn't have anything, mostly silver and bronze, but it didn't have anything, hardly any copper. What little copper he had was not much. And he was located across from Starbase Atlanta. I can't remember the name of his comic books stand there. The other 2 were just overpriced. They were way overpriced. And this has been a gripe of mine. And I mean, this is how much the comic book industry's changed since I had last collected comic books back 25 years ago. And now you have 3 different websites to go by for the grading and pricing of comic books. And there's no standard. There's no, hey, this is the standard to use. One dealer can use this site, another dealer is using this site. There's no consistency, and it was just so. In my opinion, there was 2 dealers there that were just seemed to be overpriced. Now, the one dealer that I talked about that was across from Starbase Atlanta that Friday, I did find some stuff, and I'm not going to show you everything, but I want to show you 2 particular items that I purchased that I don't think the dealer realized what he had done, but did I get a great deal. If you see right here, he had this marked as the first appearance of Sin Eater for $10. As you can clearly see, and if you're a comic book comic book fan, you'll know that this is not the first appearance of Sin Eater. As you can see on the cover, this is the Black Cat. This is Spectacular Spider-Man 90. This is fights for the second appearance of the Spider-Man in the black costume, followed behind amazing Marvel Team Up 141. And what's so funny is 141 is more valuable than Spectacular Spider-Man 90. And I think it has to do with the fact that Spider-Man only appears on the last page of the Spectacular Spider-Man 90 in the black costume. So, anyway, got that for a great deal. It's a $90 comic raw, between $70 and $90 comic raw. So that's like, great deal. The other thing that I got, I couldn't believe he had this for just this low price, and he had 2 copies, newsstands. Fantastic Four 243. As you can see here, this is a great white cover of Galacticus. And this, with the new Fantastic Four movie, Fantastic Four First Steps coming out this summer, and we know Galacticus is going to be in the movie, comic book accurate. This has gone up in price. Raw is going anywhere between $60 to almost $80 raw. Got this $5. I bought both copies. $5. I bought both copies. I am planning on getting each of them graded, and graded they can go easily over $300, and I do believe they'll grade as a 9.8. So the Spectacular Spider-Man 90 is going back in the run because I had pulled out the Spectacular Spider-Man 90 that I have because I believe it can grade as a 9.8, and that would go for a $500 comic. So I'm making it out like a bandit on that. But anyway, let's get back to Pensacon 2025. So after I got done doing some shopping on the vendor's floor, I went back upstairs and started getting autographs. And the first autograph I got was the former TNA World Heavyweight Champion, the Wanted Man, Nick Nemeth. Some of you probably know him from his WWE days as Dolph Ziggler, former WWE World Heavyweight Champion, former Intercontinental Champion, United States Champion, Tag Team Champion. But anyway, I had a great chat with him talking about his Curry storyline with his brother, Ryan Nemeth, and much, much more. So I had a great time chatting with him. I also that day got autograph of WWE Hall of Famer Rikishi. Got his autograph. Also, Priscilla Presley got her autograph. She was the most expensive out of anybody I did that day. For her autograph and photo, it was photo at the table. It was $140, which wasn't too bad because I had budgeted for $120, and to be quite honest with you, I came under budget for Nick Nemeth. I thought he would be $80, and he came out to be $60. So that $20 kind of balanced out and helped out. So it worked out. And then I finished autographs for the day, getting the autograph of Maxwell Caulfield. We all know him as Michael from Grease 2. I asked him about a movie he had done with actress Shannon Worley. It is one of those movies that you would only watch late at night on Cinemax called Animal Instincts. Also asked him if he enjoyed doing the voice work as Spicer on, the Spire Slayer creator on Spider-Man, the anime series, which he did say he enjoyed doing that. So the only panel for that day that I attended, let me rephrase it, there were some panels, but the only one that I was interested in was the Rikishi panel. That was at the Great Hall at the First Methodist Church of Pensacola. I went and did that. And then that panel was at 5 o'clock. So by the time that was all said and done, I was like ready to go eat. So I went and took all my gear back to the car, and I went and walked down to the Fish House, which Of course, was going to be an hour to hour and a half wait. Of course, February 14th. But believe it or not, you could get into the Outlet's house with no problem. Well, I was kind of a little concerned because last year I had terrible service at the Atlas house. But I was like, oh, I'm hungry. So I said, as long as I'm not put in a corner table where I get no service. I wasn't put in a corner table, and the waiter did a good job making sure I was taken care of and everything. So that was a much better experience than last year. Of course, the food was great. Had grilled shrimp, just phenomenally awesome. So by the time I ate, got back to my car, I was tired, so I went on to my hotel room and I called it a night for day one. So the next day, I got up, went to the Bay Center, went across the street, and ate breakfast at the Waffle House because the hotel that I was staying in didn't offer a true breakfast. Their ideal of breakfast was muffins and breakfast bars, and that's just I wasn't interested in that. So that day, Saturday, was panel day. I spent all day at the First Methodist Church, first at the Great Hall, not the Great Hall, but the Roberts Centers for the Aliens, Colonial Marines panel. I did that. By the way, all the panels except for one I attended Saturday, I recorded. So I will be posting those with over the next, over a spreaded period of time, but I will be posting those. So I went over to the Wesley Abbey Theater for the Nick Nemeth panel, which that was a very fun panel. Then I stayed for the Ray Wise panel. Uh, that was a very good panel. That was supposed to be in the Twin Peaks panel, but the Cheryl Lee had canceled. Then they had got Dana Ashbrook, I believe his last name. I could be wrong about that, so if I am, please correct me in the comments. But anyway, he had to cancel due to a death in the family, so it just left Ray Wise, so it became the Ray Wise panel. Believe it or not, after the panel, I was able to get my picture with Mike Esley. As you know, Mike is the president of Pensacon, but for some of you, you may know him better as Baron Mondo Fardurin on Nightmare Theater. Yeah. Believe it or not, I do watch Nightmare Theater. And I told him that, and I told him I watch it for the serials, because I do love serials, so I love watching it just for the serials. Anyway, and I also made sure to tell him thank you for all of his hard work for what he does for putting on Pensacon. And he was really nice to stop and take this picture with me, and I really appreciated that. So it was very nice of him to take the time to do that. He was moderating the Ray Wise panel. So after that panel, I went over to the Great Hall for the Maxwell Caulfield panel. I attended that panel, and then after that panel, I went to the Star Wars The Mandalorian panel in the Roberts Center, and then I stayed for the Priscilla Presley panel. That panel was specifically said no video recording and no photos. So, and if you were caught taking pictures or videos, you would be asked to leave. So you will not see let me rephrase it. If you see that panel on YouTube, then it was somebody who got very lucky not getting kicked out of the panel. Now, there was a professional photographer from Pensacon who were taking pictures. So if you see those pictures floating around, it was because the official Pensacon photographer was there and was taking photos. But to the best of my knowledge, there are no videos whatsoever of that panel. It was a very good panel. And Priscilla Presley talked about a lot of subjects. She talked about Elvis Presley, Colonel Parker. She talked about her acting career doing Dallas, the Naked Gun movies, and much, much more. It was a very good panel. So after that, I stayed for the Anthony Rapp panel. That was a very good panel, and I did record that panel. So, and after the Anthony rap, I called that was at 6, that ended at 6 o'clock. So I was ready to call it a day. So I just went on walk down to O'Reilly's, and that turned out to be a disaster. Multitude of combination of things. It used to be a more of a family type. The last time I was there, more family type eating establishment, but now they've turned into like a sports bar type thing, and it's just not my thing. And they had music playing too loud. I couldn't hear. I was just miserable. Plus, they put me in. They put me in a so-called room where no music. Oh, we'll pay attention to blah blah blah. That didn't happen. The waitress was just unattentive. Um, I mean, I was waiting to get a refill on my drink, and I only got the refill because the guy was bringing me my food and says, "Well, do you need anything?" I'm like, "Yeah, ketchup and another soda," because the waitress never come back to check on me. And then he comes back with stuff, and then she comes to checks. And then after I'm done eating, I'm sitting there waiting 10 minutes to get the check so I could get out of there. And it's very, very unattentive, and I will never go back there again because of those two reasons. So O'Reilly's is definitely off my list unless they change the way that the way the place is. So it's almost getting to the point where there's really no place for me because I will admit I am a picky eater. So it's getting hard for me to find a place. I was trying to eat locally, and it's hard for me to find a place now to eat locally because there's really no place downtown that has food that I like and with good service. So it's getting harder and harder for me. So I don't know. And maybe I just eat at the Atlas/Fish House and that's it. I don't know. Anyway, so enough of that. So day 3, um, uh, we get into the building at 9:30. I immediately head up to the 3rd floor because that's where Angie Hartman is on the east side of the 3rd floor. So in case you didn't know, in order to get to the 3rd floor, you have to go around what they call the artist circle and to get to the other side, which fortunately was a good thing I did that because I came across this banner and I see a lot of She-Hulk covers on there. I'm like, huh? And I read the banner and I realize that it is the editor of the She-Hulk comics. Um, yeah, and I'm not going to try to pronounce her full name because I'm terrible, terrible, terrible at pronouncing names because I'll butcher her name to death. Um, uh, Witter Settler, and I know I butchered it. Anyway, she's done a lot of comic work, but at the time she was the editor on the Sensational She-Hulk Volume 1, by the way. This is the one that was story written by John Byrne. He left after, I forget where he left in the run, but he came back at issue 31 to start writing and drawing again. And it's issue 31 that I got her to sign because she's on the cover. And I also had her sign a large print, and you can see it here, of issue 40, which is probably the most expensive She-Hulk comic out there just because of the cover. And it's amazing how this in the 90s got even printed and got out there. And but this thing is like ridiculously expensive. I have the comic and I'm not selling it. I'm keeping my She-Hulk collection, by the way, so that is not being sold whatsoever. So, but I had gotten her autograph a little later on, but nevertheless, I had went to Angie Hartman's table and waited about an hour 15 minutes, and finally was able to get her autograph. Went back, went downstairs to the east side so I could get to Anthony Rapp's table. And I got there worrying about, oh God, I'm going to have to wait another hour and a half. And fortunately, he had just showed up when I asked. When I got there, saw he wasn't there. I was going, when he'll be here? And it's like he just got there. So I got lucky, was able to get his autograph. I chatted with him for a little bit. That was wonderful to do. I went back downstairs because I wanted to see, and the one dealer said that was really, really pricey. He actually had the Sensational She-Hulk 31 in his bin for $5, and I was like, for $5, I'll buy it. I bought it, got Renee to sign it, and I've also bought the oversized print from her table. And the funny thing is, she wasn't at her table. She was down the second floor on the west side, next to the alien actors, and I worked out because I wanted to get Jennifer Black's autograph. So I went down there, did that, and so got Renee's autograph and a picture with her, and then did Jennifer. After that, I did one last autograph, and that was Mindy Sterling, better known as Fran from the Austin Power movies. Love that. Bring on the laser! Gotta love that. She just yells and it works so great. Yeah. So that was all my autographs doing and everything. So I wrapped things up and took my stuff back to the car, got my tripod gear, and headed over to the First Methodist Church for the 3 panels of the rest of the day. And those panels being first, these all, by the way, all 3 of these panels were in the Roberts Center, and the first panel being Angie Hartman. That was a good panel. Didn't realize that Pensacon was her first Comic-Con appearance. So, Pensacon, we have the honor of being her first Comic-Con appearance. That is pretty damn awesome. So, the next panel was the Jonathan Frakes panel. I was under the impression we were not allowed to record that panel, so I did not record that panel. I know somebody who did record that panel. Had I known I could have recorded that panel and got away with it, I would have done it. This was a fabulous, hilarious panel. Jonathan Frakes was freaking awesome. So kudos to the person who recorded that. I know who he is, and bad with names, so forgive me. But I will find his YouTube video and put it in the link of actually, I'll put it in the link. I'll put the link across the screen right here. And I'll also put it in the description down below, so if you're watching it on a PC or a mobile device, you'll be able to click on it. Otherwise, if you're watching it on your TV, you'll know where to go to find it. So, anyway, so after the Jonathan Frakes panel, best, not least but last, was the Alex Kingston panel. I did record that one. That was freaking funny, freaking hilarious, and watch out because Alex Kingston throws bananas. So, anyway, that was freaking fun. So, now back to circling around to an earlier thing I said earlier in this video. My infamous losing the VIP t-shirt. I want to say a big thanks to Ashley, one of the Pensacon staff who was manning the tables for picking up passes and stuff. I explained the situation to her that Sunday morning. She said, well, come back around 4:30. We'll see what we can do. And I came back. She gave me another t-shirt in the size that I had originally gotten. And I was willing to pay for it because it was my fault for losing it. They gave it to me, no charge. Ashley, thank you. I extremely appreciate it. So for all you people that give the volunteers and people crap, come on. They work hard to put on this show for us. And it was most stressful than anything because this was Valentine's Day weekend, probably the worst weekends to hold a convention. It was difficult, and they pulled it off. I thought they did great. They have no control over the base center security staff. They have no control over that. So, kind of, give them, show them some love and everything because they do a wonderful, phenomenal job. So, anyway, with Pensacon 2025 is in the books. We have the dates for Pensacon 2026. And in case you are interested, they are better. Pensacon 2026 is going to be February 20th through the 22nd. which the first question out of my wife's mouth to me was when I told her they announced Pensacon 2026, it's not going to be on Valentine's, is it? So, thank you for not booking it on Valentine's. So, we did get some guest announcements. I'm going to just talk about a couple of the highlighted ones that I think is going to be like, whoa, this is going to be good. Paul Reiser from Aliens, Mad About You, the Stranger Thing, The Boys, My Two Dads. He's booked for Pensacon 2026. My brother probably would go if he heard this one. It's a Chips reunion. Eric Estrada and Larry Wilcox is going to be at Pensacon 2026. My brother loves Chips. Loves that show. That was his show growing up. And we're getting a Lost Boys reunion. Jason Patrick, Jameson Newlander, Billy Wraith, Chance Michael Corbett are all coming to Pensacon 2026. So this is going to be pretty good. I think the last good 80s cult horror classic that we had at Pensacon was Fright Night, the cast of Fright Night, along with the director, which was pretty cool. So I'm looking forward to this. So anyway, guys, thank you for watching. Hey, people that I talk to at Pensacon, thank you for putting up with me. I know I can be long-winded. I can drive people nuts. If you don't believe me, just ask my wife. So thank you. I'm not good at being a people person, and Pensacon's about the only time where I really feel like I'm in my jam. So I really appreciate it. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Please check out all the other great Geek This Week content. I will be getting some of these panels out over the next couple of months, and I'm going to try to get back into doing the Hammer Horror Blu-ray reviews and possibly doing some Doctor Who Blu-ray reviews. So anyway, guys, thank you guys a lot for your support, and I'll catch you all later. Bye.